What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Rage Traders NRL Supercoach podcast. Wolfie here. Thank you so much for tuning in. We've got the wrap up for round 12 for memory. Was it round 12 already? Geez, it is going absolutely fast, and only not too many games because it is the first major bye round, but boy, oh boy. Some interesting topics to talk about, some interesting super coach players we need to discuss. Of course, before we get started, if you could kindly like, subscribe, comment if you are watching on YouTube. And of course, if you're listening on audio, podcast, Spotify or Apple Podcasts, 5-star review goes a long way. So thank you so much to those that have done it and those who are doing it as well. All right, let's get into it. So if you wanted to know my score for this week, I'm pretty happy with my score. There were two people I was umming and ahhing about getting in. One was Jacob Kiraz after Jonathan Sewer didn't end up playing the Bulldogs game. I'm still not upset I didn't go Kiraz because they miss out on a few buy periods or rounds that we'll get into later. But I'm very happy with 1,058. I mean, I only do 2 trades this week. I tried to really just say, look, I'm going to be a bit patient, not do my full 3 trades, hold off because, and I'm going to get into this, why I've done this a bit later. Maybe some of you boosted for 4 trades this week. Maybe you needed to. But if you didn't know my trades this week, I got Tarpanay in, I got Hosking in. Both of them top scored for the Canberra Raiders for memory. Maybe that changed on updates. So I was very happy with that. Yes, there were some other players that who had like a bit of a higher ceiling and they did do well. And that's just part of the game. I didn't get Tamari Martin in. That was most probably the other trade I was really considering. I expected Purge to have a bit of a better score. We'll get into that a bit later as well. But still, all in all, 1,058 for myself. Hopefully that's some green arrows. Seen a bit of 900s out there. Seen a bit of, this and that. So we'll have to wait and see and bounce back, hopefully, even stronger this coming week for round 13, which is the mini buy that we'll also get into. Let's get into the wrap up. Let's get into the matches that have just gone past. The Raiders versus the Dolphins, 30-22. The Dolphins take out and win this one. And I think one of the biggest topics for me here is this is what I sort of spoke about is, Dolphins coming into a round 13 bye. I felt like if you got the time to get Asako or Bostock was the round before, where Bostock got about 80 something. Asako had a better game. Asako here gets a 71. A Bostock here gets a 63. I advised everyone not to do it this week if you hadn't got them in, because the way I look at getting players in before a buy period is you kind of half their score. So if they're, getting 130 plus, then it's really kind of worthy or valuable. But unless their break even is like a negative something or just something absurd where you're going to make so much money on them like a Greg Marju, this is why I didn't advise it. Bostock gets a 63 here, which really turns into a 31.5 over 2 weeks because he's not playing in the round 13 schedule. Asako gets a 71. I mean, you'll still live with these scores, but I think it's still not worth it. Again, talking about this Dolphins team, I think they are starting to really click. This is a game without Herbie Farnworth, and they still go out and beat Raiders at GIO Stadium. That is something you really need to respect, and maybe there are some Dolphins players we need to look at. I know maybe some people will talk about Katoa getting a massive 106 points. We'll need to wait and see if he can be a bit more consistent in the Supercoach scoring area. If we look at the Dolphins now, we can aim to get them in round 14 and onwards. So they have North Queensland away in round 14. That should be a very high scoring contest. They have Sydney Roosters in round 15. That's going to be without some of those Origin players from the Roosters. And then obviously some of the Origin players from the Dolphins. West Tigers away, New Zealand at home, Newcastle away, into Sharks at home, North Queensland at home, into a bye. So after, round 14 is maybe where you want to start really attacking them if there's someone that you really want. I thought Corey Horsburgh had a really good start to this game and just limited minutes. I think it was about 56 or something like that. Gets a 73 here, but he was looking on fire at the start. I was umming and ahhing between Corey Horsburgh and Tarpanay. And at the start of this game, I was very upset I didn't go Horsburgh. Then all of a sudden, minutes played a factor. Tarpanay does this thing for an 87, and all of a sudden I've made the right decision because there's more chance of Horsburgh. Obviously, there's much more chance of Horsburgh playing in the Origin compared to Tarpanay, who can't. This is just going to fill the gap of that FRF, and a lot of people went Tarpanay, so they'd be happy with that. I wanted to talk about Finafuiaki as well. I think in the last few-ish weeks, everyone's like, oh, he's getting 60, but no attacking stats. He's kind of falling off in the attacking stats, and he's becoming a flat 60 player. Lemuelu's someone that's looking okay as well. 68 here in this one. He's someone that you could pot up for if you did want to do that. I think if you went Fuller this week, you expected a lot more for him. Only a 48. That's pretty subpar considering some of the Origin players will come back and maybe he gets moved somewhere. We're still looking at Avarillo coming back shortly as well. So yeah, a bit of a weirdly scoring Supercoach, I guess, night, in my opinion, for a 30-22 game, and Tarpanay was the highest score with 87. And then you have 106 from Katoa and 92 from Naofa'u. Sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly. He's someone you could maybe look at, but, with the likes of like Avarillo and other chopping and changing things, he's just a bit too expensive. So I wouldn't even, to be honest, look at that too carefully. I think the main people from here, it could be like your Katoa, it could be your Osako Bostock still, and Finafuiaki going to be really interesting to see. So he had 113 break even at $665,000 and he gets a 61. So he's going to lose a bit of dosh this game if you want to target him in round 14 and onwards. Going to the Raiders, I thought, as I said, Tarpanay, Hosking really impressive this game. Getting a try was also good to see, as just as someone who I was targeting from the get-go for when he came back. Told a lot of people to go for Hosking. Really happy with that. Don't expect him to score a try every week, but he's going to fill a position where he is so like $483,200 for a high base player who can score here and there. That feels really good. Tamale, okay, but he just does some weird stuff in games that I just couldn't trust him as buying him. Timoko, maybe a bit of a pod people could look at. Canberra only have the round 18 bye, so they're going to have a nice little period here where if you wanted to target someone from Canberra, maybe he could be someone you look at. Maybe Dane Laurie started off really strong this game and then kind of faded out for a 57. The interesting thing here, which I kind of didn't agree with, Owen Paddy started this game and then Starling came on. I just think that was just start with Starling. He's a great player. But anyway, Mariotta for a 62. He's front row forward. He's 348,000 with a 28 break even. He's someone you could look at if you wanted to maybe try and make some sneaky cash, considering they have some outs here and there, but you do need to be wary that people will come back into the fray and maybe that will hit Mariotta a bit. But nothing else to talk about Supercoach wise. Even someone like Xavier Savage, who only gets a 21, he might be getting super cheap soon. A 43 break even on 21 points. I don't even know if he got injured this game. But yeah, he's just someone that can be really kind of be like a DWZ. Dallin Zelezniak from the Warriors. Sometimes he gets a 25-30 and sometimes he gets like an 80 plus. All right, next, Bulldogs versus Storm, 30-20. This was a tale of two halves. Storm come out and the Bulldogs looked the exact same. Then the second half, Bulldogs just switched, like flick of the switch, and all of a sudden look amazing. The biggest talking point here, well, there's two of them. One is Jacob Preston, broken forearm. I don't know the diagnosis of how long he's actually predicted to be out for, but stay involved and updated on that. That's some massive news. So what happens because of that? I think someone like a Satili Tupanua could be very, very good for the Bulldogs now because of that. He gets an 89 this game with a try. However, the problem is with Bulldogs, and this is the only problem, everyone we're looking at, they don't play round 15 and they don't play round 18. So, I mean, that's the only burden, and that's why I didn't go Kiraz. Pardon me, if Kiraz played one of the major buys that were upcoming, he would have been in my team. I would have just gone sewer straight to Kiraz. But the fact that they're not playing 15 and 18, yes, they're versing Eels next. I know Kiraz might get a couple of points. He looked awful in the first half and then just kind of switched to gear. Maybe not in the first half, maybe the first 20 minutes. Then the offloading kicked in. Then the Bulldogs kicked in. We have to remember it's versing a very undermanned Storm team. I mean, no Munster, no Trent Liero, no Harry Grant. It was a big task for them. They started off hot, then sort of crumbled. I honestly think the Storm season is just done, especially with their Origin players like dropping. They're going to drop the chemistry because of having to play Origin. So I don't think Storm are going to make it in the top 8 this season. But if they do, they do. The biggest talking point for Storm, Moses Leo, 114 points. Jeez, that is a sight to see. One of them was the easiest tries you'll ever see. Kiraz went to stop like a 40-20, tapped it back, nobody was there, and then Leo just picked it up and scored. But nothing much else to talk about for the Melbourne Storm. Josh King, 89, is the second highest scorer. That's very concerning considering they scored 20 points. Stefano, a reasonably good game. Otoy Kamanu, 67. That's nice to see. Fa'alogo, only a 57. He's sort of floating into a possible trade territory now. 115 break even, 637,000, and only gets 57 points here. Possibly, but I think let's have a look here because the draw does matter. I know that their buys does get impacted soon. So they have the Sydney Roosters next. That will be against some players that possibly don't back up. And then they have Newcastle at home, into a bye, into Canberra at home, Manly away, bye. So I think you're going to be looking at moving some of the Melbourne players on in round 15. So if you're like a Hughes holder, possibly like a Nick Meaney holder that's when I'd be looking at moving. Again, Nick Meaney, 55. Lasardi, a bit of an under par game. He had a lot of missed tackles and errors in this game, but still gets a 49. So, I mean, he's a season keeper in a sense, or maybe not a season keeper, maybe just someone we hold till we want to upgrade to like the big tier 2RF, whenever that may be. Jerome Hughes, 41. Very funny how the tables have turned here. You know, I was so upset when I captained Drinkwater and then didn't get and then traded Hughes out. Now all of a sudden Drinkwater, my captain this week, and the points have turned. It's crazy what Supercoach can do to you in a couple of weeks' time. Nothing else on the front of the Storm, to be honest with you guys, Supercoach wise. Will Warbrick had a shocker this game. I think he had 3 or 4 knock-ons from inside the Melbourne 20, and these were runs, not catches. So he got he dropped the ball quite a bit this game, and it costed Melbourne a lot. As I said to you, I was a big Leo Thompson fan. He gets an 81 this game. He looks so good. It's just the major buys. If Leo Thompson would have already been in my team, don't you worry about it. But yeah, I'm trying to set up very smartly for these buy periods. Now, the best player by far, I know Kiraz had a great game, but to me it was Burton. He gets a 90 here, but he was just, every time he touched the ball when they were firing, it looked like he was going to break the line. This is the Bulldogs you wanted to see, this second half sort of Bulldogs. I thought Rinakama was really good this game. He could hold a position. There might be a chance that Sewer doesn't even come back into the team because Rinakama just looked way better than Sewer. As I said, Satili Tupanua, if he's someone that you really want to target here because of the Preston injury, 89 this game, has 2RF and FRF duality. Really, really good. Really, really good. And at $514,100, he'll go up a bit, but nothing too crazy. Anari Tuala, I just wish he had like a certified position in this team. Maybe he does now. Gets a 90 this game. Galvin, 102, looked good as well. And this is what happens when the Bulldogs kind of click for 40 to 60 minutes. You see some super coach points, and it's a bit unfortunate because I think if Preston did stay healthy this game, he would have had an easy 100. But that's how the cookie crumbles. Some people brought Preston in this week, really tough because of him not getting picked in Origin. It's crazy. He doesn't get picked in Origin. You pick him up, he gets injured. If he gets picked in Origin, you've got another Supercoach player that most likely wouldn't have got injured. Also, man of the match this game would most likely go to Jack Underhill. He had some crazy plays. He would be up there in the top 3 for sure. Montoya still just looks like a traffic cone on the sideline, and I'm not sure how he's back in this team. So I think Renakama is definitely the best winger for them. And curious to see if Kiraz stays in this fullback position because, look, they get a win. against undermanned Storm, yes, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't think he will, but we'll wait and see and find out. And that's the Bulldogs versus Storm, 30-20. Dragons versus the Warriors. Honestly, the Warriors win 30-12, but I tell you what, if this was another team that Warriors were versing, this would have been a game that they could have easily lost. They had a lot of knock-ons, a lot of errors. They finally clicked and they were kind of in second gear. But Dragons could have easily, if it was another team, could have easily won this game. But let's talk about Toby Couchman, someone who I've kind of been avoiding because of injury. 94, absolutely massive this game. He continues to put out great Supercoach numbers. Might be close to a must-have if he keeps getting these type of numbers, to be honest with you. Hamish Stewart, 81, huge. Couchman, it's just these three guys. Now Dylan Egan pops in. 73 for Dylan Egan. But St. George have quite a tough draw. I've spoken about this before. So you just want to be aware of that. They just versed the Warriors. They now have Broncos away, Sharks away, into a bye, into Newcastle away, Canberra away. I don't know when this team is going to win their first game. I really don't. It's getting really, really tough for them. Valentine Holmes, this is the worst I've ever seen him play. He just looked out of this game, out of sorts. He still gets a 57, which is absurd. But yeah, he's going to make a bit of money here, but he just looks absolutely cooked to the core. Luciano Leilua, only a 37 for holders here. Nothing much to talk about Supercoach wise. It's more of the grindy tacklers like your Couchmans, your Stewarts, and your Egans that are going to get your safe points. Setutu still gets a try in this game for a 61 as well, which was nice. Tamari Martin, 94. Whether he is someone that you must bring in next week, I'm still contemplating that. Versing the Panthers is going to be a tough ask for him, but the 5/8 halfback duality is really nice. And maybe he's someone just slots in for Cleary over the time. If you were planning on selling Cleary, Khan Pereira, respects to everyone who had him last week and held on to him, which was the likelihood play. 92 here. That's really nice to see. DWZ, 88. Aaron Clark, 73, and Jackson Ford, 72. So for those who went to either of those who didn't have them, you'll live with that. It's fine. It's nothing crazy. It was raining heavily in this game as well. Like, it was really pouring at some times. So it is what it is. Leotawa, Leka Halasima gets a 43. Leotawa, 28. These guys are just not super coach players in my opinion. If you own them, I think you have to get rid of them. Laban, a 64, bit of a watch on him. Tuapiki, also a 73, and Fisher Harris, a 77. Fisher Harris has been really strong this season. He had a bit of a HIA scare, but came back on and played, which is most probably unfortunate for people that had Ford as their captain, because if he went off, Ford would have had more of a workload here. But again, nothing crazy here. We also need to remember that the Warriors have a bye in round 14. So they play Panthers away, then a bye. So really going to be something you don't focus on getting them this week. After that bye, however, they have the Broncos at home, St. George away, Penrith away, sorry. Bye, Sharks at home, North Queensland at home, Dolphins away, into another bye in round 18, into West Tigers away, St. George at home, Bulldogs away, Gold Coast away. So a bit of up and down, but be wary they have that bye in round 18. Sea Eagles versus Titans. Now, I didn't get to watch either of these games because I went to church, but this was a bit of a tight one. Someone who I did speak about, but I just couldn't pull the trigger on. Clayton Fowler, 100 flat points in this one. Really nice to see. Very low scoring game. Jaden Campbell, 89 points. Very nice to see in this one for Campbell owners. Pascoe, 57. I know people were talking about captaining him. That was crazy to me, but yeah. If you did that, unfortunate. Furmore, 66. We've spoken about him before, but Titans just need to be scoring more points. Sherab. Let's have a look at Sherab. I heard some. So Sherab is $201,400 for a 58. Interesting to see. I need to look more into the stats for him, but maybe put him on your watch list. Paseka, 58 for owners. You'll love that. He keeps grinding away. People brought in Garrick this week. I didn't agree with it. I thought they were going to go left a lot. Or I just don't think, without a Hamoli Olakwatu there, I think, Garrick has more work to do and it's harder for him to score because they have less to worry about. So I was never a fan of that. But yeah, that's just me. And nothing crazy here, honestly. Ben Turbo gets an 85 here. I'm not reading into that too much, to be honest with you. And nothing much for the Manly Sea Eagles. Rama Howe, 48. The big, also, Cooper Bai, they're still not giving him minutes. He's going to be a trade out for me this week. That's just a corrective trade. I read that incorrectly, and maybe it should have just been a simple Toby Couchman trade that I did before. But yeah, I'm just wrong. It's gone sour, and I've got to get rid of Cooper Bai. I don't know why they're not giving him minutes. But yeah, unless he got injured, which I wouldn't know about yet. But yeah, I'm just getting rid of him. And also Kinney, what gets a 44 or something? 41. So yeah, for the owners of Kinney, I think it's getting close to getting rid of him. Here it is, the Cowboys versus the Rabbitohs. Scotty Drinkwater, 119 points. Does that top score the week? Captain, he had the armband on. Chester, 104. Lukey, 87. Reed Money, an 89. He's starting to do work now. I think he got a try in this one as well, but I could be incorrect. The debutant for South, Penatani, geez, he is quick, he is fast. Unfortunate that when he made like a bit of a break in after scoring 2 tries, he pulled his hammy, so he might be out for a while. Dufty, an 89, great to see. Walker, he's restoring some faith in owners with a 72. Aiken's been good, 66, but Fafita coming back soon. Duncan gets a 61, so I will live with that for my boy. And he's just going to get me through this bye period, and I'll most probably flick him off, I would say, unless he changes position in the team. People were talking about Kalama Matangi, 47 only this game. I'm not going to touch him all season. Latrell Sigwell, or Sigwait, is it Sigwait or Sigwalt? Sigwalt, sorry. He gets a 60 in this game, so he's got fullback and halfback duality. Really interesting for people that maybe are looking at him. That's going to be something nice to see, and he will play through the periods of origin when Latrell does get chosen as well, so that's interesting to look at as well. Purdue, big topic here. Is it time to go for Purdue? He's got CTW duality with the 5'8", so I'm thinking maybe I can swing him down into like a Makasini or whoever I have there that's injured, Sua. What I could have done this week, which actually didn't click to me, now that I think of it, I should have done it, was Purdue down to Jonathan Sua and then brought in TMM. I didn't even register that. Damn. Now that I think of it, I should have done that. But it is what it is. But that's really like helpful to have that. That's something I can do this week if I want to, because I do want to bring in possibly Fletcher Sharp or TMM. I'm still thinking about it, but that's where I'm going possibly. McKaylee, a 71. Good to see. I don't even think he scored a try in this one, so that's some big numbers there. Sutton scores a 70 here, and he did score a try in this one, same as Laybutt for a 68. Clifford, he should be in the Origin squad. I don't know what they were doing, but this guy is playing in his career best form, in my opinion. But I'll take it. Stay in the team because it makes Drinkwater better and it makes our team better for sure. Nothing much else to talk about Supercoach wise for this game, and that is your wrap up, ladies and gentlemen, for round 12. If I missed anything out, please put it in the comments below. If you are listening on audio podcast, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, thanks for listening. 5-star review as always. It truly does help me out. And yeah, good luck with your trades this week, gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you on the next one. Wolfie here from the Rage Traders. Thanks for watching. And my camera, I've realized, stopped working on the YouTube video, but that's fine. I think it just stopped then, so I think we're good. Okay, goodbye.